The weather is shifting here in the United States, and all of us are going to feel it to a certain degree. Our southwestern states have above average rain on the way from Tropical Storm Priscilla at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, making its way north and east. Our northernmost states have the possibility of freeze warnings, freeze watches, and frost advisories as temperatures are below average over the next couple of days. And finally, there's a system developing off the coast of the Carolinas that could bring some gusty winds and exaggerated rain totals over the next couple of days, not just for the Carolinas, but also the eastern coast of New England as well. All that in this video. And here is the infrared image of Tropical Storm Priscilla, again off the western coast of Mexico. You can kind of see Mexico up there at the top right-hand corner of your image. But again, it was a hurricane just a little bit ago, a couple of hours ago, downgraded into a tropical storm. It looks very symmetric for this point, and it will be threatening the southwestern states. And here's what people call the cone of uncertainty from the National Hurricane Center. Again, a tropical storm. It's, as of the time of this recording, this is the most recent one, 11 a.m. on Wednesday. Moving into Friday, though, still retains its tropical storm status as it approached Baja California. Again, decreasing in intensity, but with it, a lot of rainfall pushing into areas that don't really see a lot of rainfall for this time of year. And here is an intensity chart for Tropical Storm Priscilla. Down here on the bottom, the x-axis depicting forecasting hours. Of course, 24 hours out is a whole day after this was created, and the consensus is that this storm is decreasing intensity-wise. And the majority of models, just 2 days from the creation of this graphic, have it out of the tropical storm status. But just because it's not a hurricane or a tropical storm when it reaches the continental United States, we definitely could be looking at some flash flooding warnings and exaggerated rain totals. And here's the Climate Prediction Center's precipitation outlook over the next 6 to 10 days. You can see the darker shades of green representing a higher chance of above average precipitation. All of Arizona, eastern New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, Nevada, and California getting a lot of this precipitation over the next couple of days. So there could be a threat of flash flood warnings, not just from Tropical Storm Priscilla, but the precipitation before it, and we'll come to see the precipitation after. And let me show you that on radar. Down here is Tropical Storm Priscilla. As it's moving up to the north and east, it's going to decrease intensity-wise. But look, there's already precipitation over much of central Arizona and western Colorado and the eastern coast of Utah as well. But then as it starts to make its way in, you can see that precipitation, the leftovers of this system, just lingering around over the four corner states. And then there's a possibility of another system developing in the same area of the Pacific Ocean, right off the coast of Mexico there, making its way, bringing a high concentration of precipitation into that area. Obviously, this system is a little bit farther out, so it's a little less predictable, but you get the sense that the southwestern states need to be on the lookout for higher than average precipitation. And here is a weather graphic from the National Weather Service's Albuquerque, New Mexico office. It depicts the rain totals over the next 7 days. Obviously, southeastern Arizona, central Arizona, southwestern Colorado, and eastern New Mexico going to be affected by these higher than average rain chances. And again, there is a marginal to slight risk of flash flooding in low-lying and poorly drained areas, as highlighted by the Albuquerque, Mexico National Weather Service office. So just make sure you stay weather aware if you're out in these areas. But turning our attention more eastward to the eastern half of the United States, I mentioned at the beginning of this video, temperatures are going to be lower than average in the mornings here for Thursday and Friday. We already felt it Wednesday morning. You see this was issued just a couple of hours ago, but you can see Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan getting the brunt of these cooler than average mornings. This is your temperature anomaly, so the darker blue is below average. Obviously, the white would be just around average. So as we push into Thursday morning, you see much of the upstate New York and New England states getting those below average temperatures, not Thursday morning, but also Friday is a little bit as well. And here's the weather warning map from the National Weather Service. It's showing the national view, but you can see Michigan, as of right now, has freeze warnings. That's that purple color. The darker blue here is going to be a frost advisory, and then the lighter blue here for central Pennsylvania and eastern Pennsylvania, and much of New England as well is a freeze watch. So as you can see, over the next couple of mornings, the temperatures are going to be below average here in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, New York, and all of New England as well. However, I do think this is a short-term trend because over the next 6 to 10 days, Climate Prediction issuing an above-average outlook for much of the United States, including those 3 states that saw those below-average mornings. Tuesday, Wednesday. New England primarily affected Wednesday and Thursday as the system moves eastward. But I think over the next 6 to 10 days, I don't think those fall-like feels are going to be here just yet for everyone except for the west coast of the United States. California seeing those fall-like temperatures, lucky for them. Texas way above average. Those near normal temperatures are factoring in those below average temperatures over the next couple of days. So after Friday, I would suspect those temperatures to be slightly above average. But let me walk you through the numbers here. As we push into Thursday morning, those low temperatures are going to be very close to that freezing degree mark. Central Pennsylvania in the upper 30s, and some areas in this forecasted model, at least in upstate New York, seeing 31 degrees, so just below freezing. But Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan as well, seeing those lower 40s, maybe upper 40s for parts of Minnesota. But New England, New York, and Pennsylvania should be ready for those cooler mornings. But I don't think this first taste of fall really is going to stick around for long. Maybe in New England a little bit longer than most of us, but Texas and Oklahoma can be expecting those upper 80s and lower 90s throughout Thursday and Friday here. Let me zoom forward to Friday. You'll see Oklahoma and Texas in those 90s, and even for the southeast United States, temperature highs in the mid-70s as well. It's really going to take a dip in the jet stream to give us those fall-like temperatures to really stick around for a long period of time. Now, I did mention at the beginning of this video that I was watching some sort of system forming off the coast of the Carolinas. I'll let you know what I think is going to happen here. Around Friday morning, we got a cluster of precipitation forming off the coast of the Carolinas and Georgia and Florida as well. Eventually, a low pressure should form alongside of it, bringing a lot in this particular frame, affecting the coasts of the Carolinas with that heavy rain totals and wind. It shouldn't be all too bad, but there definitely could be a possibility of some flash flooding here. It might catch people off guard too, since this might not even be registering as a tropical storm at this point. But moving up into the north and time-wise, it should intensify fairly quickly. And this is a lot of rain right here. If this does come into fruition, the Baltimore area, New Jersey, Philadelphia, New York City as well could be seeing those higher than average rain totals, bringing in some wind as well. There is some uncertainty issued with this system in terms of how north it will go and how much rain it will get. But the areas that do see back-to-back repeated rainfall could be looking at some chances of the possibility of flash flood warnings. And again, this is early out, so if this low pressure does trend off to the east, less areas will see these higher rain totals. But the Atlantic does currently have a tropical storm. This is Tropical Storm Jerry. It's currently off to the east of the Leeward and Windward Islands. It's moving east, but it is expected to make a northerly turn. And again, here is that northerly turn. It is intensifying. The models agreeing, consensus of the models have it forming into a hurricane around Friday morning. This is the National Hurricane Center having it form to the east of the Leeward Islands at around 8 a.m. on Friday. Could be a little bit earlier, could be a little later. Leeward Islands on a tropical storm watch as of right now. But the good news is that this is making a northerly turn. Not going to affect the lower 48, but it's just another one of those fish storms that we've been seeing, thankfully, a lot this season. Haven't had an active hurricane season. So this is just more good news. And I wanted to end with this infrared image of Jerry as it is developing and intensifying off to the east. But if you like this video, please like and subscribe and share it with a friend.